Welcome to the Fresno Football Club Match Day pregame show. This program is sponsored by Tioga Sequoia Brewing Company.
Welcome to show 2 of Fresno FC Match Day, the Fox's official pregame show. And game 1 is in the books. Fresno FC did lose that opener against the Las Vegas Lights, 3-2. Los Zorros got down 3-0, rallied to make it interesting late, just a 1-goal game. Here is a look at some of the match's key moments.
Brought down, Alvarez drops back, shot ripped in! Alex Mendoza!
And yet they're still finding themselves 2 goals down. This is a tremendous strike from outside of the area from Mendoza. The goalkeeper saw it late through traffic. Really wouldn't have had any chance even if he had seen it in time. Almost every set piece that Las Vegas have had, they've sent 2 players out.
Alvarez headed in! Joel Wiki, number 3, gives Vegas their 3rd.
Played into the near post. Coming back to meet the ball with his head was Wiki, the captain. Beautifully done.
Daly for Camden Faywell. Fresno looks forward. They have the number 13 team in the conference last year, then the number 12 team. Johnson scores for Fresno. It's the first for the Foxes.
He was in acres of space. The ball played forwards over the top from Camden Fayo. Calmly collected with the right foot, turns and faces the net and puts it by the goalkeeper, Fresno, who came out to try and close the angle. But that was all about the timing of the run and the skill of Johnson with his right.
Well, it's not Koffa behind the ball here, it's Danny Barrera. Koffa is available in the area. Barrera lobs, headed, saved, follow-up, in! Bustamante! Fresno back within 1.
It's been a barnstormer, all right, and it continues to be so.
Now let's be honest, for that first match, it wasn't all about the scoreboard. It was about the scene and the atmosphere for the first ever home match for Fresno's first ever pro soccer team. And it was pretty good. Nearly 8,000 fans showed up to Chukchansi Park. Here's a look at some of the sights and sounds from downtown Fresno.
Today's been awesome. It's busy as can be down here. I mean, we've got more than probably 1,000 in our supporter section going crazy, so it's been awesome. Fire Squad Fresno has been around for over 4 years now. We started out as maybe 50 people just to see it grow every year from the Fresno Fuego to professional soccer with Fresno FC. They haven't played a game, but we've got the fan base and we're ready to go. It's not just about the match, it's about the community, it's about all of us supporting soccer here in Fresno.
Oh my goodness, have a great day. Go Foxes! Right here, go Foxes!
I'm expecting wins, I'm expecting all the support. The sport is truly a beautiful game. It's so much fun to watch, the build-up, all the passion of all the fans and everybody involved. For a lot of us, it's what we do. It's our hobby. It's the thing we love to do. I'm expecting Fresno to get behind this.
By the way, the official attendance of 7,769 at Chukchansi Park, 3rd highest for opening weekend across the USL, with first place going to Sacramento Republic at more than 11,500 fans. Now, only 14 teams played at home the first weekend, but certainly a nice start for Fresno. Okay, we've got head coach Adam Smith joining us now, and Adam, will start with last week's first ever game. Let me start, even before we get into the on-the-field play, what did you think of the environment and the atmosphere surrounding that event?
I was delighted. I mean, the energy, the atmosphere, the support from the crowd. the organisation, just everything. It was brilliant. We couldn't have asked for any more. I'm hoping that can be repeated, throughout the season, and it wasn't just a, first game look as you be, but I'm hoping it continues. I know that we'll have to do well in order to keep the crowds coming, but I think everybody went home with a really satisfied night, because it was an exciting game, it was a close game, and just the whole buzz, the whole atmosphere, and how the guys played and fought and all the rest of it. So I think it was a good advertisement for the game of football.
What was your big takeaway from the game?
Big takeaway was it reinforced the fact that I know I've got winners, and in that aspect, what I mean is the guys that they're going to win because they're not going to lie down. So they're not going to win every single game. You can't win every single game. There's very few teams that do that, but they're going to win a lot more than they're going to lose, because of the attitude, the never say die attitude, the desire, the fight, the commitment.
And you talk about the never say die, got in the hole early and get down 3-0. What did you think went wrong to get in that hole?
Well, there's two things that you never want to happen as a coach. One, you concede, like within the first 2 minutes of the game, and two, you're down 3-0 at home. In the 50-odd minute, whatever it was, still down 3-0, and that's just you don't know where to look at that point. Just tried to remain calm, tried to remain strong, just basically got my thinking cap on and was like, okay, what changes can we make to try and impact the game? And I feel that the changes we made did impact the game, and we got our rewards. I always felt we were going to score. I always felt we had a goal in us, and that once we got one goal, we could get a second goal. Unfortunately, the second goal just came a little too late for us. As
we look ahead to tonight's game against LA Galaxy 2, how much do you know about them at this point? I know a lot about LA Galaxy. I've played against them a lot, over the years, both at the MLS teams and the USL teams. So I do know a lot about the club. However, obviously there's been a lot of changes there. Ziggy Schmidt came in, who's a very, very good coach, and he's moved a lot of players out. So this current crop of, based on the last game that we watched them play, this current crop of players, there's a lot of unknowns in there. But there's 2 or 3 names that I know and that can be dangerous, so we have to be careful with those. But I don't fear them. I think if I put my boys against their boys, man for man, I feel much more comfortable with my guys, and I mean that sincerely. Is there one thing that you would look to tonight that you want your team to do well? I'd want to see the same desire, the same fight. I think we need to, we've talked about this, we've done video this week, we need to just smarten up a little bit, not let the emotions sort of overtake our roles and responsibilities and where we need to be and our shape and things like that. For the most part, our shape was very, very good. For the most part, the players stuck to their tasks that I asked them to do, but we conceded on a set piece, which is never good. One corner and one throw in, so we need to tighten that area up, and I talk about that a lot. In fact, I talked about it at last week's pre-game show, that they were areas that we've been working on, and of course we go and get undone with those, but again, that's football. But we do need to tighten those areas up, and I think the guys, well, they should be aware of that. We've looked at it, we've gone over it, we're working on it, and we have worked on it as well. We would like to make you, the community, a big part of this show as well by sharing your social media posts from the matches and the hoopla before and after the matches.
The Fresno Football Club Match Day pregame show. We'll be right back after these short messages. Welcome back to the Fresno Football Club Match Day pregame show. This program is sponsored by Tioga Sequoia Brewing Company.
Okay, so throughout the season here, we're going to have kind of a pool of analysts, of local coaches who are going to help us break down the games, the previous game, the next game, whatever it may be. And we'll start with Jaime Ramirez, the longtime Fresno Pacific men's soccer coach. Jaime, thank you for joining us. And we'll just start with the first game last Saturday, the atmosphere, the scene. What did you think?
Nick, thank you for having me. I appreciate being here. I thought it was a positive experience for all involved. I really enjoyed the atmosphere. The atmosphere was tremendous. A true professional environment for the first time for a local team. We've had several professional games here at Chachansey, and it's been great to see the crowd come out and cheer their, MLS teams, the Mexican League teams, etc. But to have our own team have that feel of professionalism was real exciting. In that middle concourse area, to see it full of fans, to see the booths, selling apparel like they do with the professional games. That was exciting for me to see.
First chance to see these guys in a real game. What was your big takeaway?
I really thought that when you gauge the game, the first 10, 15, 20 minutes, I thought we had a legitimate chance, even though we gave up that early goal. I get it, but we're still, we're still talented enough to have gotten the result. Sometimes the ball doesn't bounce your way. I was truly happy at the guys at the fact that after being down 3-0, they were able to make some significant substitutions. They came in and gave the team some oxygen, some energy offensively, and were able to get the 2 goals and made that last 2-3 minutes of the game, the extra time, so exciting for the fans that I hope will allow us to keep coming back to see when they finally get their first win at home.
The players on this Foxes team, talent-wise, you think they can compete throughout the season?
Absolutely. The talent is there to do really well. And my hope is that as the season progresses, as the coaching staff also has a greater understanding of the league, a greater level of experience that each game gives you to make the necessary adjustments, to place your pieces in the places where they need to go, that they will recognize that they can go deep. They can go deep in this league. And I've seen the talent train because they're training at Fresno Pacific University. I see what they do. I think is good. And my hope is that they'll be able to start gathering momentum, for a good run.
Was there one thing, kind of technical thing, that you saw that you liked?
I like the way that they use Kafa, their team captain, their number 10, who was in the playmaking position. I like the fact that they went to him enough, and it seemed to me that their opponent, Las Vegas, understood that. And they had double and triple teamed him, and I think everyone that came out of the game recognized what a talent they have in Kafa. He's fantastic. And they went to him, and then one of the things that maybe not everybody noticed is the fact that as a coach, the adjustment that perhaps, I'm going out on a limb right here in speaking about Adam, is that he recognized that, and then he started doing some other things. He didn't force that particular issue, and that was a critical point to recognize.
And if there is one thing, again, don't want to make these broad judgments from one game, but one thing that you think they could do better?
I think they can play through the lines a little bit better. Okay, I think they can play through the lines a little bit better. I thought that every once in a while playing your number 9 up top, strong, big player, it's a good thing. But I think if we, as a team, they were to utilize, building out of the back through the midfielders and forward. Their athleticism, their skill, their ability is very, very good. Building from one phase to the next phase to the next phase to get into scoring opportunities. I think I would like to see a little bit more of that, and that's just probably the Latin in me, right? I mean, I like to see the build-up more being played, the ball through the ground, that kind of thing. But the pieces are there to do a lot of things with this team. Okay, and a quick reminder, we're looking for those social media posts with the hashtag Somos Zorros.
built for Fresno and We Are Foxes. We'll be using those to show these kinds of pictures and videos as we head into each commercial break.
The Fresno Football Club Match Day pregame show will be right back after these short messages. Welcome back to the Fresno Football Club Match Day pregame show. This program is sponsored by Tioga Sequoia Brewing Company.
Last week, we introduced you to Fresno Football Club owner Ray Bischoff in part one of an extended interview. Bischoff grew up in Dublin, Ireland and Liverpool, England before moving to the States in his early 20s. Worked his way up at several car dealerships, now co-owns Mercedes-Benz of Fresno. Here is part two with Bischoff as he explains why he loves sports and why he wanted Fresno to have this team.
Your interest in sports, whether it was being a sponsor or now being an owner, what is it about sports for you?
Oh, I love sports. Is it? I mean, kids need sports. It's a bonding, it's socializing, it's peer pressure, but kids, it's enjoyable. So when I was in England, I used to play rugby, and it was the greatest energy and support system you had. They were great guys. In fact, I remember when we left high school, when I was 18, I wept furiously because I was leaving all these guys I'd never see again. It was just great camaraderie. So sports is great, and the mere fact that you become a fan or a player. I mean, fans like to attach themselves to causes, whether it be political causes or family causes or teams, and so I think it's just good for everybody. There's no negative. Sports lift the spirits of people when they win. Look at Philadelphia Eagles when they won the Super Bowl. Millions of people on the streets there, all cheering for people who won a game. But it's more than a game. Soccer is more than a game. It's tribal. Fans relate to players. They relate to colors. They relate to how the team behaves, how they dress. They gravitate to the players. The players become their heroes, especially with the kids. That's what's exciting for a kid to go to bed and be nervous about the team playing the next day and can't wait to get out there to support them. And if the team wins, they're so happy. And if the team loses, they're crying or whatever. This real sports, and it's all good.
Is there a 1 year, a 5 year type of plan with this team? Does it matter how well they do early on?
I talked to Frank a lot about this. I mean, we're both winners in our own mind. I mean, we want to win, and I think fans can be fickle. You lose, they don't want to come watch you anymore. So you have a little bit of responsibility to have a good product. But if you're good at what you do, and Frank is really good at what he does, I mean, he's the best. He will have a winning team. Now, is he going to have a winning team in season 1? Maybe. We don't know. But I don't want to put that pressure on the guys.
Can I ask you about your hair? How would you describe your hair?
Oh, God. Well, I don't know. It's gray. I think it's gray. Everyone thinks it's white. Yallop had a weird thing. He said they're going to have wig night at the stadium. I said, what the hell's wig night? He goes, we're all going to go and get wigs like your hair, and I'm going to get all the fans to wear it. I went, oh my God. I said, that is so funny,
Have you ever heard of the TV show Eastbound and Down, though?
Yeah, the comedy.
Yes.
The comedy show.
HBO.
Yeah. The guy was a baseball player.
Yeah.
I kind of like that show. It was kind of funny. He was a wild guy, wasn't he?
You know who Will Ferrell is?
Oh, yeah. The car dealer?
Yeah. And he had the longest...
No, but people did mention it a few times. I said, heck no, I'm not like that. I'm a normal person,
The Fresno Football Club Match Day pregame show will be right back after these short messages. Welcome back to the Fresno Football Club Match Day pregame show. This program is sponsored by Tioga Sequoia Brewing Company.
Reminder that our family of TV stations will broadcast every one of the Fox's games. Tonight is here on CW59. Wednesday, the road opener in Seattle, you can watch on this TV 26.2. 1 week from tonight, back at home against OKC Energy, that's on CW59, as is the following game, Saturday, April 7th at St. Louis FC. 11 days later, April 18th, Los Zorros back at home against Tulsa. That game will be on this TV 26.2. Our pregame show, always a half hour before on the same channel. And that is our show. From the Fox Den at Tioga Sequoia Brewing Company, I'm Nick King. We leave you with more of Jaime Ramirez and the birth of Los Zorros. Enjoy the game.
Have I ever told you the legend of Los Zorros? It is a legend, not of size or strength, of fury or fire, but one of speed, cunning, and of sheer will. Born to thrive, fearless in battle, always quicker, always smarter, always winning. So tell me, do you have what it takes to become